There we go. Everyone happy. Good evening, everybody. My name is Andy Murray, and it's good to share with you a story which is about generational financial freedom. I don't think there's anything more important in today's world than having a secure financial future for not only for yourself, and that's normally where we stop. We look at ourselves and we think, I'm okay. And maybe we are, maybe we're not. And I want to challenge that tonight with you. But then let's take it to a second bounce of the ball. What about your kids? And what about your children's children? Biblically, the Bible says we should actually prepare for our children's children. And this is quite something. And to do this, the only way that it can be done that I've seen in the many, many businesses that I've started and I've done many businesses, I'll talk more about that later on, is by creating multiple international and hopefully escalating income streams. And it's wonderful that we have a business that can be centered anywhere in the world because it's where the centered where you are. You become the center of your business and it will launch around the world. And especially with South Africans being the way we are, there's South Africans all over the place. You know, we watch we watch the cricket and we see Indians from all over the world, and more Indians over there in other teams than what there are in the Indian team. But the same thing happens with South Africans. They're all over the world, South Africans. So we can build a business knowing people all over the world. And so I put this picture up because when we create generational financial freedom, it's about generations. It's about ensuring that my grandkids and my kids are safe and secure and that they don't have to struggle like we struggled. I really don't want them to struggle like we did because it's unnecessary. We need to take them a level up, a notch up, and hold them in that situation. So, my question then comes to you is what is your definition of success? Because what makes me successful? Am I successful because I'm the CEO of a company? Am I successful because I can sail the oceans? Am I successful because I'm driving a fancy motor car? What makes you a success? And in the end analysis, I believe it would only be the fact that, hey, I look at my family, and as a gray bearded old person right now, I look and I can see this is my legacy. That's all that matters is how are my kids doing, how are my grandkids doing. So let's get in and maybe hear a little bit more of my story and tell you where it went. I started off in East London in South Africa in a little place called Maisie's Holt Store. Some of you might know it as Macy's Holt. And for those of you who, Trevor and the others who know me, that wasn't a picture of my mom and dad, but it's that's a picture of our shop. That little scale on the left-hand side, we had that scale. We had all these things in the shop. All those things were there. I served behind those counters. And no matter what, and it was no difference between white and black or anything like that. It was just, hey, we're a general dealer, and people came and bought. We had petrol pumps outside, and people got their petrol and got their groceries, and it was wonderful to be able to share with them. And that was my foundation. And it didn't make us rich in any way. But my parents worked so hard, they never even took a holiday. That's crazy. My mom could manage to get some time off every now and then, but my dad never had a holiday. That blew my mind. And I didn't want to work like that. I really didn't want to work like that. And then came along and I went and joined the corporate world, worked overseas and came back and was getting me very successful with companies like at that stage, the Telefunken, South African TV and Telefunken, and then there was Everwrite. I did successful in that. And then my dad came to me. He said, "Andy, I need to retire, and I need for you to take over the business." Oh my goodness! Okay, from the corporate world to this, it's just like going from color to black and white. But we built. When I started working with our dad, we started building another business called Farmerama. And that was a radical difference. My dad took his life savings, put it into this big box of a fair, and we started supplying inputs to farmers. And yes, there was fertilizer, there were feeds, there were seeds, there was chemicals, there was um, hardware, there was building materials. You can see here fencing, mechanization, irrigation. There's all sorts of stuff. One of the most exciting stores to work in at that time but a lot of work, really a lot of work. And we did work. We worked extremely hard, many, many long hours. It was in the time that I was working this that someone came to me and said, Andy, how's it going? As people say, oh, you know what we always answer? Yes, it's going fine. He says, cool. How much are you saving? I said, are you crazy? We're building a business. I haven't got time to save. And he said, yeah, but Andy, how many paychecks you got left? I said, what? How many paychecks have you got left? Because you know what, you're working like crazy like now, and if you work at your rands per hours for the time that you're putting in, really, okay, is this a fair deal for you? Is this what you want? And I really thought hard about that. And it was around about that time that someone came to me and offered me a business in a little cardboard box. This crazy little cardboard box. And this, it was a woman, it was a lady, and she came along and she said, Andy, this will do more than your big box. This little cardboard box is a better deal. And I said, are you crazy? I can see this. I've got staff, I've got assets, I've got cars, I've got all sorts of things in this business. He said, yeah. When do you have a holiday? I said, okay, I have a holiday when there's a spearfishing competition. I'd get my dad to say, listen, let me go to the competition. And I'd take my family along. The family sat on the beach. I went on the boats, and that was our family holiday. And so I started really thinking about this. Hey, how do you go? This thing is, the bigger it gets, the more it's consuming me. The bigger the job, the more time I've got to put into the job. And this really, really struggle. I struggled with this stuff. Um, and in the time, I read a book by Robert Kiyosaki, the man who wrote the Rich Dad Poor Dad, and he said, if you're in business and you can't leave your business for a whole year and make more money when you're not there than when you are there, you just own a job. You don't, you don't have a job. You own a job. And it struck me that, and I started searching like crazy, and I came back again and again to this little brown box that was there that I'd actually registered my wife, and I said it's good for her to do. And then I started looking, and we started seeing this in a different light. It really was. And since that time, we've moved on from the Farmeramas. I'd started off other business. I started off a business called Joblaw, which is today is a national footprint. I started working with Red Alert, and we did a campaign for Red Alert, and we outperformed this massive big corporate company called Red Alert from my office in Beacon Bay in East London. And but after all of those, I came back again to this business in a box. This thing worked. And when I looked and I unpacked this box and I started seeing what was inside and the incredible power of their marketing strategy, of their compensation plan, of their products, of whatever they had, this was incredible. And so I put my time and effort, big time, into that. Now, that wasn't easy because I was still building Farmerama. This building, that business had to grow. And so I was burning the candle at both ends and the middle. This was hard work, but the results, we've traveled the world. There's been so many times. We traveled to Disney World 5 times. I've been to Euro Disney twice. We've been out to Euro Park or Euro whatever it is. We've just been come back from there in December. We've been to Dubai. We've been to Paris. We've been to Switzerland. We've been all over the world. Been to Hawaii and stayed in the Hilton Hawaii in the 8-story corner apartment. Had 2 bedrooms just for Les and myself. Guys, this business in a box is the most exciting thing that I could ever share with you. And now that I've moved, I'm semi-retired out at Morgan Bay, and it's just a little village on the wild coast. And yet I can still have my business centered in business, and we have business links now to over 20 countries in the world. And every month, at the end of the month, I get a printout which tells me this country did so much, this country did so much, this country did so much. And on the basis of that, you get an overriding compensation commission on the volume, the total volume of the organization, like a volume rebate on the volume, on the basis of the organization. And this is what I want to share with you tonight. If you can understand this, you can have your box. And I want to promise you right now, it is the most exciting box you could ever open, ever in your life. You see,
but there's before we start on that, we got to understand, and I want to be honest with you because when I started, I wasn't honest with the woman who spoke to us. She said, Andy, how much have you saved? And I didn't tell her because I hadn't saved anything. She said, if your car had a breakdown and you needed a new battery, could you afford it? I couldn't answer her. She said, Andy, what happens if you need four new tires? Can you afford it? What happens if you need a new car? How many months are you going to go to an HP and pay for two motor cars so you can get the one? And I couldn't answer her. Okay. And so all these things, and I understand in times today, it's even tighter than what it was when we were there at that stage because businesses are closing. Then businesses were booming. This is in the 70s. Business and everyone was booming. It was going like crazy. And in that time, I saw, hang on a second, even then, yeah, they say half of 20 somethings have no savings. Well, I was one of those half. I was big time in that half. And so we look at it, and I come again to that question: how many salary checks have you got left? Out if you're kind of in the middle of where your life is right now, so you've had half the paycheck so far. How much of that have you saved now? And on the same projection forward, how much are you going to save on the paychecks going forward? And so how much will you have at the end? And if you're going to live on a miserable pension, folks, inflation is eating us alive. We cannot because you can get a pension. That's a fixed income. And if you have a fixed income and all of a sudden you're getting older, you'll be mowing lawns to try and supplement your income at that time. And you're tired and you don't need to be in that situation. So it's important to know, where are you now? Because I want to take you from where you are right now to where you really, really, really want to be. You must identify that want to be, and you must identify where you are right now. And then I want to show you a business. Why? Because Robert Kiyosaki said you need a business where you can walk away and it'll make more money when you're not there than when you are there. I could not understand that because I knew that if I walked out of my business at Farmerama, things would go wrong. The checks would bounce, or staff would steal, or something would go wrong somewhere in the things. There'd be customers who'd be just gruntled about something. Okay, always was a hassle. So no matter where you are tonight, he produced this thing called a cash flow quadrant. On the left-hand side are the people who are the who have a job, and the self-employed who own a job. Okay, the self-employed generally would be people like accountants, attorneys, whatever the case, engineers and the like, architects. They've got skills which they have in their brains and with their two hands. So everything has to be signed off by them. So the only way they can make more money is by putting in more time. And really, the other thing which is so important, on the left hand side, people don't have any defense against taxation. On the right hand side, you don't declare your income until the end of the year, and you've deducted all your expenses that were pertaining to the production of wealth. Once you've done that, now you can submit your returns. And so you are entitled to reduce so many expenses. We went to Disney World the one time. And it was, I went, whenever I travel overseas, I'm building my business. We stayed in a Disney hotel. Okay, let me give you how clear this is. And when I came back, I declared on my tax return, here's my business, my hotel expenses for a Disney hotel, and these are my business expenses and for the rest of the business and such and such. They called me in. They said, you can't do that. I said, why? They said, you stayed in a Disney hotel. You went to Disney World. I said, of course I went to Disney World. If I stay in a Disney hotel, I go to Disney World for free. If I stay at the Hyatt Regency, I've got to pay them and I've got to pay for Disney World. So I'm trying to be fair here, guys. Do you know what? They gave me my expenses in a Disney hotel. Understand, when you're operating as a business person, the world has a different viewpoint of you, and you can have a different viewpoint of the world. So you own a business system that works for you, whether you're there or not there. Last year, we were in America for 5 weeks. I came back. It was in June.
When I came back from America, we made more money out of this business and the box than I ever we'd made before. Why? And I wasn't even here. That's how incredible it is. And once you've got money like that, of course, then you can be an investor. You can invest in properties. You can invest in gold. You can invest in shares. Whatever turns your life, your button, whatever makes your life happy, go for it. Okay. But you've got to have those savings that you can go and do those investments. Okay. But I want to talk tonight about getting you into a business of your own, and it's not expensive. That's the key. It's so exciting. Okay. So understanding what Kiyosaki is saying, no matter where you are, make a decision, guys, to get there. But you say, hang on a second, to start business, I've got all sorts of expenses. I need assets. I need all sorts of things. You're right. You need a product or a service. You need marketing. You need assets. You need people. You need staff. You need admin. You need finance. It's taken care of. You don't have to worry about any of that stuff. What you do have to worry about is, what is your vision? What is your dream? If you're going to earn extra money, if I earn an extra 5, 10 grand a month, well, how would it change your life? It could be more, it could be 20 grand a month, it could be more. But what would it do? I don't care what your level is and whatever it is, it doesn't really matter. Okay. People in this industry, there are more millionaires produced out of this industry than any other industry in the history of the world. Okay. So this is a very highly successful and highly well proved structure of business. But you see, you link yourself to a company that's internationally registered, and they provide the product, they provide the marketing materials, they provide the assets, they're the staff, they employ the most incredible staff to help us. They do all the admin, all the finance. They've never bounced a check, and I've been in business now for 67 years. They've never missed a payment, they've never bounced a check. What an incredible thing! Absolutely fantastic. All right, let's move on. Let me show you. And that gives you big business backing. So you register with them. They take care of all the logistics. They take care of all the finances. They take care of all the storage, warehousing, stock theft, whatever. That's their problems. Okay. That sets me free to build my business. And I'm going to show you how that you can build a business and become an investor for yourself. So this vehicle that I'm going to get into right now, it's a rainbow of promise. I want to tell you folks, it is a promise because it's not, this is not maybe. This has happened for too many people, and it's happened to too many of my friends. It's happened to us. It really has. And I am just humbled to be able to share with you an opportunity which you can grab as well. Okay, so the first thing I said you got to have is know where you're starting from. The second thing you got to know is where you're going to. Now, I want to be honest. When we started that night, I didn't have dreams. She said, what's your dream? I, I, I still don't understand how people have dreams when you're in debt. When you know that you've got more months than money every month. And how do you dream? How can you possibly dream? And she said, you got to, because if you got to have a dream, you got to lift your eyes. God has given the only animal in the world that has the ability to see over the horizon. God has given you the ability to dream. What would it be? I said, I want to go to Disney World. She said, cool. Here's a picture. And she stuck it on the fridge. I didn't believe her. We wanted to go to an island. We wanted to go for an island holiday. She put it up. We wanted a combi, a new car combi. She put it up. Guess what? The color of the combi that we got was red, and that was the color on that picture. Guess what? We went to Disney World. Guess what? We went to Hawaii. Guess what? We built a new house. We extended our house. Guess what? We sorted our kids out. We started a family. All of those things we did because we started to dream. It was the most exciting thing in our lives that for the first time as husband and wife, we genuinely could dream. We were losing it, totally losing it. And it was so exciting to build that dream. So you've got to have your dream. I don't know what it is. You must know what it is. And your wife, if you're, or your spouse, your husband. Okay. So let's look at the ideal business. The company that we link to, the international global entity, is a company called Neolife. They've been in business since 1958. They are squeaky clean, absolutely amazing. They've been in business for all these years, globally in over 50 countries.
hundreds of thousands, and they say even millions of people who have registered with them and have benefited from them. And they've done it with no advertising. No advertising. That's crazy because you know how much companies spend on advertising budgets. The advertising budget goes to you and comes to me. Let me get into this, okay? That's how. They have a simple, honest, duplicable plan. It's a business plan, all right, which has been fine-tuned over generations, over decades, to the point where today it is the best paying compensation plan in the whole industry in the world. It's fantastic. And they do have the most incredible products, which we all do use. Consumable products. Why consumable? Because every month they get replaced. So you get a monthly supply and every month you get it. And if they're fantastic, guess what? You're not going to change. And I don't change. And my customers don't change. My team doesn't change. So my accountant once said to me, Andy, of all the people in your industry, and I've got a bunch, I have never seen anyone with as stable an income as yours. I said, yeah, I understand that. That's because our products are so incredible. Every month, people consistently get them. They understand they're saving money. They understand they're getting benefits. They understand this is the Rolls Royce. Once you've got that clear in the mind, away you go. Everyone is happy. I've got people who've been with me for nearly 40 years and still happy. Isn't it amazing? So, what were your steps? Number one, make a decision. Number decision that I'm going to start where I am. I know where I want to go to, right? Now register. Just like any online business, like Take a Lot or anything. Only here you register. And when you register with them, you register as a distributor of their product. And they immediately put you onto a 20% saving on every order. So you buy it wholesale. Now you can take that and go and sell if you want to, like Tupperware and everything. Don't do that. Please don't do that. I'm not looking for salespeople. Really, I'm not. Let's get into this further. So, number one, you've got the product. You get 20% off. Fantastic. Wholesale price. Okay, now you use your products. And when you use your products, you're going to save on your grocery bill. You're probably going to avoid close on 4 supermarket aisles because you're buying from your own business and you're saving money and you're getting better quality product and you're getting better quality everything. Okay, I'll talk more about the products just now. But is this logic? Is this simple? Is this honest? Is this duplicable? Ah, there's the key. You see, now you can refer friends and family, just like you were phoned this evening to come along and have a look so you could be referred to register. And when you do, guess what? You get exactly the same price as what if I invited you, you get the same price as me. I make no money out of you. You can go along and use the product, save on your grocery bill, avoid the 4 supermarket aisles, just like me, just like I've been doing for many, many years. And also, just by the way, there are tax benefits just in the use of my own products too. I just slip that in there for you. Okay. But now when I refer my family and friends, the company records the purchasing that they do and I do, combines that all together in one big buying group. And on the basis of that, there is a volume rebate. The bigger the purchasing volume every month, the bigger the rebate. And a very wise man once said, I would rather earn 1% of the efforts of 100 people or the purchases of 100 people than 100% of the purchases of my own 2 hands. That makes sense? That's the simplicity of the model. It is simple. It is honest. It is duplicable. It is for you. So use, teach, duplicate. That's it. And the faster you duplicate, the faster the volume grows. The faster the volume grows, the faster the income grows. So when you purchase, you start off by purchasing your own kit with them, or like what they call a kit. This business in a box, your own little box of paraphernalia and stuff, and you get your own website with Neolife, and then your name dot Koza for South Africa or dot whatever it is in BW if you're in Botswana, or I don't know who else is on this call now. But you get that for yourself, and away you go. So now you start buying from the company, avoid those supermarket. It's lovely to walk down the aisles and just say, I don't buy from this aisle. I can save myself a fortune. Okay. Safer to use products,
better quality, no advertising. It's quietly carries on. You're going to get improved health and vitality and guaranteed wellness. That's amazing. So what are the aisles? Everyone wants to know what the aisles are. Okay, number one is nutritional supplements. You know what? Since COVID, they tell me that 80% of the people are now buying supplements. But there's different kinds of supplements. There's synthetic and there's whole food. Whole food changes people's lives in terms of wellness, in terms of energy, in terms of vitality. Synthetics, our bodies can't process synthetics. You get minimal benefit from a synthetic. That is where we come from. We have got the finest range, and arguably, and I would debate this with anyone, that we have the best whole food supplements in the world because this company has produced 40 world firsts in nutritional supplementation. So, not going to talk too much about that. That is our major side, major portion. But every month, people need their omegas, they need their vitamin C's, they need whatever it is, their zinc, and so you go on. So now, then there's personal care. Do you shave? Do you shampoo? Do you shower? Do whatever? All those things, obviously, if you can buy those kind of things from your own business, these amazing products, they never get finished. It just frustrates the life out of me because you want to get them finished because then you want to get another order so you can increase your order for the end of the month. And those of you in the business will understand me. They've also now introduced a total vegan facial care, which is absolutely natural and no chemicals. Do you know there's, I think, over 1,000 um, chemicals in facial products? It's terrible. They put the most, and many of them are actually sourced out of petroleum products. Imagine that, ladies, putting those things on your face. It's crazy. And then, of course, there's home care. Home care is incredible. The home care products are truly amazing for what they can do. And I had a lady that came around last night, and I just did a bit of a show on how these things work. Well, she texted me this morning. She said, "I've cleaned my whole house. I cannot believe what these things can do." And she said, "I can't believe how cheap they are." Here we are. It's all there for you as well. So you use your own products from your own store. You test them. You feel the difference. You taste the difference. You learn the difference. And then the key is TTP. Talk to people. Don't sell to people. Talk to people. Listen to people. Understand what are people's needs. Is it finance? Is it health? What is it that they need? Is it vitality? Is it energy? Are they just sick and tired of being sick and tired? Whatever it is, find out what that is, and then we'll show you. And so, even for them, there is a rainbow of promise. And as they start using the products, as they start either as a distributor or as a customer, it doesn't make any difference. So the volume grows. It can be your solution. It's that simple. It can be there for you. So I want to get unpack now. If you can understand that, I'm going to do it again so that there's absolute clarity as to where we're going right now. And then you still might have questions, and no question is a stupid question. I want to tell you that. So let's understand this opportunity. It starts off with a decision. So key that you make a decision for yourself. Yes, I'm going to do this thing. And you know what? It's Denzel Washington says it starts with a decision and it ends with steadfastness. I forget the word he uses, but something like it. It comes later in the presentation. Starts with a decision. Purchase your business starter pack, get your own web page, and what's in the starter pack? What's in this cardboard box that I was talking about from the beginning? Well, there's a product manual, there's price lists, there's compensation plan. You want to read that thing so you find out how you're going to make money out of this. Study that compensation plan, master the compensation plan because it's the key to your future. Cost of the registration is 160 Rand per annum. Membership fee, that's about the same as what I pay for my bowls club. Crazy. And then, of course, there's a whole bunch of products. So now you want to get products. You've got to get some products with this, and you're going to buy them at the less 20% at the distributor price right from the beginning. My honest suggestion is get products from every aisle. They have one. There's multiple starter kits. There's cheap ones and get the one that's about 2,000, 3,000 Rand. It has the full range of products from all the different aisles. Test them, work them, understand them. It's so important for you. Okay, that's my personal recommendation. So
talk to the person that invited you, let them guide you, teach you, lead you on that whole situation. Do the best you can, okay? Because it's your life. The more the stronger is your foundation in this thing, the faster you're going to grow, okay? Once you've done that, you're going to get free training and a whole demonstration by the person who invited you, called your upline. They just align up from you. And there's someone above them, and there's someone above them in some way. Those people are going to come along and, hey, just help you and get you started, answer your questions, and do everything. We have nothing to hide. We are totally transparent with everything that we do. Then there's free online training every week on Monday. For members and other and even customers, we don't mind who comes on, and a lot of people do come. We had 50, 60 people on Monday. And then there's training by the company and a lot of training incentives and things that they put on as well. So there's a lot of stuff to support you in your growth because you've got if you're going to talk to people, you need to be trained. Okay. So number one, it starts off, use your products. You've got a decision, you've got your starter pack, use your products. Number two, create your buying group. How does this work? Well, it starts off with you. You register with the company, simple, honest. You bought products at cost, you use your products at cost. Okay, that's simple, that's honest. Can I duplicate this? Well, I want to try it. Do you know that not everyone you speak to will want to join your business? I understand that. And you might not either, but that's fine. But I'm going to talk to people all my life. But some people that say no to the business opportunity, I'll offer them the product. I mean, I had last night, I had some lady, she came over, she said, Andy, I've got the thickest blood. They want to put me on warfarin. I said, hang on a second. Vitamin E does an amazing job for blood thinning. Don't go the warfarin. Ask the doctor to give you just a little bit more time. We put her on the vitamin E. She's not on warfarin. Do you know what warfarin is? Ratex. Go and read the label on Ratex. You'll see it's warfarin. They use it for blood thinners. Terrible, terrible, terrible product. Okay. So you can get customers as well. I want to make profit. I want to make 25% profit on them. What a pleasure. They're happy. I'm happy. Away we go. So then I'm going to talk to more people. And I want to find people that are genuinely sincere about making extra money. They are sick and tired of being sick and tired. They are sick and tired of that to haste to paycheck and lemon broke every month, running out of money before I run out of month every month. It's just not fair. And cool, I'm going to help those guys get registered with the company, just like me. They get the same benefits as me. They can do exactly the same thing as me. But together, we now start creating volume, which qualifies us for rebates and bonuses. Okay. And when you get to 25 to 35 distributors in your buying group, you end up with a title called director, and the director earns. I'm going to show you the money that he earns now, but that's by sharing the opportunity and sharing the products. That's as simple as that. Let's have a look at it again, because this is how the company compensation plan will be in the compensation manual. Okay. So still using the products, sharing the opportunity, and also concentrating on business development. The products all have a value, an international scoring code, an international currency. It's called a point value, PV. So the same product in South Africa is 10 points. It's 10 points in America. It's 10 points in the UK. It's 10 points in Australia. So we know the same basket of goods for each country is the same. Okay. They'll then work it out with their computers in terms of money. So this is the currency that we use in our computers. So now you talk and you find as you're building your business, you meet other people and they're going to keep it simple, keep it honest, and keep it duplicable. And so now we've got 6 friends who've registered with us, and you've got each doing their 100 points a month, which is the standard recognized by the company as if you want to get any bonuses, you must do between you and your customers at least 100 points a month. I think we're currently on about 1,000, 800 to 1,000. So that's easy. The way we go, just using the products, you're going to use that stuff. Let's get you'll just by buying from those 4 aisles in the supermarket, you'll get your 100 points quite easily. Okay. But then you go along and and keep helping your friend, this guy on the right hand side, help him get going. And when he gets going, he gets 6 people. When you get, sorry, I missed a point over here. When you've got your doing 700 points, you and your group, your buying group, you're going to earn around about the 650 Rand profit and bonus. That's nice money. But now, when you've helped your friend to go and get his seven people, he earns the 650, but your total buying power of the group is now 1,300 points, and 1,300 points will qualify you. He doesn't need 700 points. You will get 1,700 because the commission on that amount of money is 10% commission, whereas on 700 it's 5%. He gets his 5%, so you make 5% on his turnover and another 10% on your own and the other guys who've yet to advance. And so it's a very simple program. Okay. If you get four people doing 1,300 points, okay, you got an income of around about 15,000 Rand. Folks, that is what we call a director. Now, is that nice money? And you doing your 100 points and you talking to friends and making more friends and meeting more friends, it's simple, it's honest, it's duplicable. It's been working for 67 years. I just wish you'd started earlier. You would have been so much further down the track. So why Neolife and why now? Well, the questions you got to ask yourself for any kind of a business, this product or this service, this product, do people want or need what I'm offering? This service that I'm offering to help people make money, to end the trend of poor health and poverty, is this something which people want and need? Is this a universal need? If it's universal, I can go global with this thing. Timing. Is my product or service relevant in today's world? Our biggest turnover is with nutritional supplements. And 80% of people are looking for these things, but they don't actually know what they're taking. Someone needs to teach them. Durability, will this business be viable in the long term? Well, it's been going for 67 years and it's growing. In fact, in the last 5 years, in this industry, the industry has declined 21%, but this company, Neolife, has grown 61% in the same period of time. Is this business going to be viable in the long term? It is exploding in Africa. Okay. Secrets is my product service unique in the marketplace. They've got 40 world firsts. They've got patents on products which the rest of the world can't even touch. It's incredible. Profitability, will it make money? I can guarantee that. I can guarantee that. If you want to know, I'll talk to you privately and I can tell you more money that can be made. More money than you will believe. Like I said, more millionaires produced in this industry than any other industry in the history of the world. Okay. Is this business, does it have appeal? Will people find it interesting? Absolutely. Today, I know there's two, three people registered. Like I say, there's someone way up in Dakar that wants to get going. The company's not even there, and people want to get onto this business. Impact. Will I make a difference in people's lives? Is it meaningful? There's nothing more rewarding in my life than seeing that the one gentleman I spoke to, he says, Andy, since I've taken yet omega-3, I can move my shoulder. I can't believe this. It's absolutely, and it's a natural product. I said, yes, it reduces your inflammation 68%. And that's what's happening. It's the most effective anti-inflammatory in the history of the world, and it's absolutely natural. Isn't this something that you'd want? I got another lady that says, Andy, I was on sleeping tablets and I was on antidepressants. I'm now on your magnesium. I sleep like a baby and I don't have to worry about anything in the world. She is my number one salesman of my magnesium product. It's fantastic. Do I make a difference in people's lives? Yes, absolutely. So let's fact check. The reason you were invited over here is that someone believed that you still have dreams. You haven't given up on your future. I'm just going to show you a vehicle to get those dreams. So why not? And why not now? You see, when you do, you get the business system, the products, the support, you get everything. And I will show you the program that I went to. I worked on this. I said I will work hard for 8 years in a business of my own. And I had to leave the family business. I turned my family didn't enjoy the fact that I left and I walked away from the family business. But I said I will do this thing. And after 8 years, I walked away from the family business. Because I was earning a passive dream salary, more than the family could pay me from Farmerama, escalating at 10 to
Okay.
20% per annum, and it hasn't stopped. And it's because it's forever. And I sit here now in Morgan Bay playing bowls the whole afternoon today and playing the fool for the rest of the time. And guess what? My business is growing every single month. Why? Because the products are still good. And so is telling so and so. And I tell two friends, they tell two friends, and they tell two. People are still telling friends every single day. And that's how the business grows. Denzel Washington said, success starts with a decision and you finish it with consistency. So I wish you will in the decision making that you have tonight. Decide for yourself. Take this thing. You've got the worst that can happen is you're going to have to buy your groceries at a discount price for the rest of your life. I'm so sorry that you're going to save money every single month. How beautiful is that? Get into that B quadrant of a business of your own. Get the tax breaks that the corporates get the benefits which can set you apart and change your life forever. Achieve your dreams and decide to become an independent distributor today. Get the link, register your business. Let's go from there. I'm going to stop sharing my screen now. Um, and I'm going to see who's here and maybe just ask one or two people to share a testimony as to why they love this business. And who can I pick on? Is there anyone who'd like to volunteer and just give a testimony tonight before I move on? Otherwise, I'm going to pick on Mark. I'm going to pick on you again, Mark Hazel. I see you're still here. Thank you. I know you're recording this, and so you'd be having interest.
Andy, thank you. Let me get my camera on this time. Just setting up.
Good
I
for
had to
you.
pop out my. Right. Well, um, hopefully my camera will come on in due course. Andy, yes, as I've been listening to you sharing this evening and just identifying with so many of the things that you are talking about, the benefits that an incredible business. I mean, today I spent time up on the mountain and did a 10-kilometer run today, and I was just so enamored at the fact that I could be out and about on the mountain, and yet my business is still doing what it's needing to do. And so, that's one of the things. But one of the other things that has been really helpful for me is the fact that last year and for the year before that, my wife was suffering with cancer. She passed away in March last year. And throughout that period, we were able to earn a passive income. And for me, that was just incredible that, if you were off for a whole year and you were not able to work, your employer wouldn't pay you. But here we were living doing what we were needing to do and able to still earn that passive income each time. And then the travel. I mean, I know you have, and we have also, I have booked my ticket for Egypt for the World Team event that's happening in May. And my son has indicated that he'll fly from Sweden to meet me for a few days before that.
Lovely.
It's a business that we can do. We can have fun, and the friendships that we've developed. But on top of that, I'm 72 this year. I've done about 17 kilometers altogether this day with all the various things. I'm well. I have energy. I have new friendships. I meet people on a regular basis, and somewhere along the line, I know I'm going to be able to influence other people and make a difference in their lives, all because somebody cared enough for me when I was arrogant. It took 18 months before we agreed to get started in the business. And the person persisted. And I thank God that she persisted for those 18 months while I was so arrogant, because my life has been such a blessing. And the blessing that we've had as a family has really been phenomenal. And because of the fact that we have these incredible products, I don't take any medication whatsoever. I'm fit, I'm healthy, and I'm excited about life. I'm excited about being able to do things. I have a new grandson who was born yesterday, 2 weeks ago. Looking forward to meeting him in Johannesburg and playing games with the kids. We have 3 grandchildren now, and it's wonderful to know that because of Near Life, we can travel. We have the tax benefits that you spoke about, but we have this incredible support system and the friendships that come with it. It really has been a godsend, and I'm excited about the future. And when I see what's happening in Africa, we are well positioned for an even better future. So thank you for allowing me to share with you again.
Thank you, Mark. I really appreciate that. All right, folks, I'm going to leave it from there. And it's up to you. It comes to decision making time. This is the first day of the rest of your life. Count those paychecks. And I want to double those paychecks. I want you to understand that you can double your paychecks as well. So, all the best. Speak to the person that invited you. They will give you a link from their website, .coza, whatever, and you can register onto that. And so you'll then be part of that particular buying group. God bless you. Look forward to seeing you. For those of you new, come along on Monday and introduce yourselves, and we'd be so happy to receive you into our training. Thank you so much. Lovely. And thank you for listening to me. Cheers.